Hello and welcome to this week's Urban Legends, the hit internet podcast about urban legends and other similar topics. It's the largest by volume, which means nothing. I am the Peter Pan of paranormal, Chris Flynn, and with me is the Hitler of high strangeness. It's Mr.
Neil Herbert.
Hi, Neil.
I thought I was going to get Tinkerbell there, but
Did you? I didn't. You can't blame me for that because it was written by ChatGPT.
Oh, okay. Well,
so that's where the Hitler bit came from, presumably.
Yeah.
I just fed in all of our material and said,
well, give
us an intro.
You know.
I'm quite. Do you know what? Because AI is brilliant and it's going to change the world.
Oh, yeah. I don't want any art I consume to not be done by an algorithm.
Well, I don't like it when you see these pictures.
Everything's CGI. I don't want actors either. I don't want any remnant of humanity left.
I don't like it when you see pictures of humans and their arm isn't molding into like a chair, or they have like 5 fingers.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's really bourgeois.
Oh God!
Or like
when so literal.
Oh God! Yeah. Where anyone in the background looks like a Picasso painting. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Terrifying. I watched that. I was telling you about it. I managed to get about 40 minutes into this completely AI generated documentary about UFOs on Amazon. Do you remember I was talking about it?
Yeah.
And you said you might have to give it a go. It's funny, right? Because the script and everything and the presenter are all like just made up, the AI. And yeah, it's like properly uncanny valley because he doesn't quite talk like a person would. So he is kind of like you would imagine meeting an alien.
Like a lot of conspiracy theorists as well. They're just slightly off centre,
slightly off kilter. But the good thing is,
erratic beliefs here and there, you know.
Yeah, I believe. What do I believe that's erratic? I believe that humans have a soul. It's very erratic, isn't it?
No basis in evidence for that, Chris.
No basis in evidence yet.
Yeah.
Hey, look, if you're a proper scientist, when you finish any sentence where you're saying about something, you would say, to the best of our current knowledge.
There you go. You and Descartes can rest on that illusion.
Well, we will do. Yeah, we're very good friends. Very similar characters, I believe.
Very much, yeah. There's something in the Jesuit about you.
Exactly, but no. But the thing is, because it was like someone presenting it, and like had pictures in the background, with, like when he was talking. So like he'd be like talking about like an alien over like UFO over a farm, and then an AI generated like a picture of an alien. Like those pictures just like were fucking all over the shop. Like to the extent that some of them were a little bit haunting.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think some of that can be. But it's a bit like we were looking at that Sad Satan thing the other day. It's like it doesn't take that much to. This to make
humans uneasy.
Yeah.
No, well, we like
a lot of that stuff hardwired in the brain, haven't we? So
yeah, we like stability.
Yeah,
and also back in
in a world of chaos.
Back when we were on the savannah, like quite often, like the very very early proto-humans, a lot of them got killed up by lions who dressed up as businessmen.
Yeah,
or like door-to-door salesmen to try and get in the house, to get in their huts. So those were the ones who died, and the ones who went, oh, he doesn't quite look like a door-to-door salesman, were the ones who survived, and that's where we got the genes from.
Well, that's before lions became like woke and lazy, wasn't it? Actually, they were prepared to put a bit of a shift in to eat a human.
Yeah,
didn't mind then. Do you know what I mean? We're going extinct now. Maybe. Well,
they downgraded to the gazelle, didn't they? They don't. The thing,
it's the easy course. But then when you're reading up all the gazelles,
the gazelle is the hungryman breakfast of the savannah, whereas humans are the prime rib, I believe.
Breakfast.
Neil, you said that you wanted to do some red hot moaning, so I'm going to leave the floor open to you for a bit, and then I've got some stuff to go through.
Because quite often, Chris, you'll say, "Oh, do you want to prepare some material now?" And I'm like, not really, can't be asked.
No, you never do. No.
So I did basically,
which is weird because people wouldn't realise that by listening to you.
Oh, you think, what really?
How many hours has he put into this?
Those awkward pauses, stuttering,
coughing, going off camera to stand up.
Yeah.
having a wander.
Yeah, just wandering about, going off, just mics, and then
falling asleep
halfway through the podcast. Sometimes a half an hour at a stretch. Yeah, all rigidly prepared, obviously.
Yeah. It's really difficult to write incoherence.
Oh yeah. But but the problem is, there's nothing. So,
I mean, like when I do prepared writing, it tends not to be about real stuff. I tend to go down
this
more
was my mistake. So I had
the
newspapers and then just kind of looked on Twitter and that, and it's just like, but just all current events. It's like politics. It's just a load of bollocks about lanyards.
Well, I think that as the Tory minister for for culture? No, she's the Tory minister for common sense, I believe.
Oh, probably that wouldn't surprise me. I was going to say it was a business culture and whatever they're meshing it into these days.
Yeah, she was saying that the reason why the country has gone to shit under their governance isn't because of them, but it's because of all the woke people in the civil service who are anti-Tory, and the problem being that some of them wear their work passes, the lanyards will be for like LGBTQ rights, or like help Palestine, or raise money for the deaf or whatever, all those kind of woke things.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing is, it's kind of like rainbow lanyard. I was saying the other day, I don't get how that's political, because it's kind of like it's. Yeah, abiding gay people existing. Apparently, that's a political position now. I get very confused with modern politics, Chris. It's like wearing masks in the middle of a pandemic apparently became a hot button political issue.
Well, isn't that just
common sense?
Well, I think like we've always said, if I don't really care who people have sex with, my first question is this person going to have sex with me? And if the answer is no,
and when the inevitable no,
then I lose interest.
Whatever.
Don't
move on with our lives.
None of my business. Do you know what I mean? If I'm not involved, I'm not interested. But I guess there's a bit of knowledge there that people from minority groups or people who are discriminated against don't normally vote for Tories because their policies are the things which aids the discrimination.
I suspect it's probably across the political spectrum, to be honest with you. It's kind of, there's a lot of, you look at the Tory cabinet and it's good,
there's definitely,
minority representation more than Labour, really. But so that's good. But
in this country, a better signifier for which way you're going to vote is the level of privilege that you were brought up in, rather than your colour or your ethnicity or your sexuality. That tends to be kind of how it works in this country. It's more to do with that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't find those things as being overtly political. So it's just interesting when people take those positions. But
you don't go, stop politicising the workplace with your RNLI badge.
Well, it's just where people sort of start making this, because that even happened like within RNLI. There was someone, I think, headbutted someone else because they were having arguments about.
It was about saving people in the channel.
Well, if you look, that's literally what you volunteered to do, and then you're going to be like, oh, actually, I'm not sure you're British, so I'm just going to let you drive. I mean, you're not going to do that, are you?
Well, apparently some people would.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure Nigel Farage will show him off with guns, but that's the thing is, so anyone like that, like your Mark Francois or whatever his name is, hilariously, or Nigel Farage. I mean, he's not going to be fucked to volunteer to be on a boat, is he?
No.
He's not going to give a shit about someone else. Those aren't the kind of people who are volunteering to try and save people at sea. So,
Yeah, keep your nose out, really.
You will have your own right-wing RNLI that goes out and only saves certain people. You get on your own fucking boat. And
they'd all just be hammered on real ale, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Oh. I can still drive. In fact, I drive the boat better, Chris.
Yeah,
when I've had a couple of bombardiers.
It's like playing pool, Once I've
get my eye in.
I have to have 6 or 7 pints of bombardier, and then I can. I'm an excellent helmsman.
Another delusions to tell ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not for too much longer.
Yeah, and football's just become predictable again, so don't want to talk about
because
that.
your team's going to not probably win.
I've said that. I said it last year. Didn't think they were going to win. Didn't think they'd win.
They're
when they
pushing
lost again
further.
this year. Yeah.
Still,
because I was. No, I'll tell you what annoyed me. I mean, fair enough. Good luck, City. But I was reading something.
No.
Well, actually, no. Fuck City.
Yeah.
Yeah. With all your money. But no, it was reading somewhere about like if he doesn't get to spend 160 million on a player. I'm sure this is bollocks because
Who, Pep?
Apparently Pep's annoyed, and if he doesn't get to spend a load of money this off season, then he's threatening to leave. Now, I'm sure that's not actually come from him, and it's but I'm not
He
sure.
is a bit of a big baby.
Yeah,
isn't he? He's a bit of a baby. Never won anything without being in charge of the richest club in the country.
That's an achievement in itself.
Sorry, he's a genius.
Well, I think it's not that he's not good, but yeah,
boring football.
Let's get you in charge of Ipswich next season, Pep, and see how well you do.
Exactly. So, Neil, do you want me to cheer you up with a lovely round of what's Weel and what's fake?
I'm just going to be over here killing myself, Chris. Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. All right. Do you know the rules by now?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 5 things, and you have to let me know what's Weel and what's fake. Should you win, you get nothing, but you get to keep what you've got. For every one that you get wrong, I will come round and take something of yours, metaphorically, spiritually, or just a bit, some money or something.
Yeah.
So, Neil,
I mean, spiritually, there's not a lot left, to be honest with you.
There's not. It's slim pickings. So, Woolworths, Weel or fake?
Current or historical?
Answer the question.
Weel.
Vapor trails, Weel or fake?
Weel.
Fathoms, brackets, the measurement, Weel or fake?
Weel.
Platypus eggs, Weel or fake?
I think the platypus is a mammal, so I'm going to have to go with fake.
And whimsy, Weel or fake?
Not sure on the platypus. Whimsy. Well, as this very quiz proves, Weel.
So, unfortunately, you got 2 wrong. The platypus does lay eggs.
Does lay eggs? Is it?
Yeah, it's a weird one. And it just shows you the platypus is a real. It's real proof that
platypuses are really
they've got a lot of grey areas. Life, do you know what I mean? Like it's not one thing or another. You can't silo life. They lay eggs. I'm telling you now.
So it's an egg-laying mammal. I wondered about that. I think I might have heard that somewhere. Yeah.
In Australia, you can get Scotch eggs, but made with platypus egg.
Can you?
Disgusting.
Are they?
Yeah, yolk's red.
No, do not want.
And whimsy, as this quiz has also proved, is fake. I'll be round at a unspecified time when you're out to liberate a couple of bits.
No worries.
So Neil, as you know, I'm currently a jobless bum.
Yeah.
500 applications, not.
Can't let it become a lifestyle, Chris choice.
A lifestyle Chris choice.
In the paper.
Well, it's a kind of lifestyle choice, but choice is probably the wrong word. I mean, the thing I could get one of the many jobs that are out there earning minimum wage, but I'd actually be losing more money, even more money than I'm losing currently. So it's kind of, don't make any financial sense. But but what I've noticed, I think that a growth area of employment is going to be in espionage because we're moving into a new stage of geopolitics, aren't we?
Well, yeah.
And so I'm thinking of doing some freelance espionage.
Working for the KGB?
Depends who pays me.
Yeah.
Depends who pays the most, Neil. It's free market economics.
That's true, yeah.
You can't sit there worshipping Thatcher and then do me for treason for working for the KGB. It's what Adam Smith would have wanted.
Yeah.
It's what Milton Friedman would have wanted. So, Neil, when you think of spy, what are you thinking? Give me some spy thoughts.
Well, I've kind of like I'm going in two directions because you've got like James Bond being a bad spy, and then there's kind of like, you know, John le Carre kind of characters who are just like depressing middle-aged men.
Yeah, well, I mean, like
doing horrible things to try and, you know.
But what kind of thing do you like? What kind of skills? What kind of day-to-day stuff are you thinking spy-wise that I'll need to know for the modern spy
We're going
game?
to gift to the gab. So I'd read somewhere that it's like one of the things you have to they do is like your induction when you want to become like from my 5 or something. When they say like you're going to go into that building and I want to see you on the balcony outside in 10 minutes' time and you can wave to me. So if you can like talk your way, you know, knock on the door, talk your way in and get them to like come up to
hello, balcony inspector.
Yeah, it's like an unexpected thing where you, like, how'd you do it? You know, do you threaten them?
Balcony
inspector. Them? Yeah.
Balcony
what if they don't believe you?
Well, then
what if they're not in?
They're not. They just put your foot through the glass.
Yeah, exactly. You see, that's why you've got the
skills. Not Bond. How did you do it? Oh, I just booted through the glass door.
He's kind of like just everything's Gordian knots upon it, just barrel straight through it, doesn't he? He's like, use my real name. Yeah, not a problem.
I'll be honest with you. Can you like?
We need you subtlety. When you got a license to kill, every problem kind of looks like it's like a nail. You got this hammer.
Do you know what? I'd give you a field report, but to be honest, I blacked out about halfway through. I drink quite a lot of these missions.
I don't know if you noticed. And the gonorrhea is murder.
So what other skills? I mean, I know there's the whole thing about they want people to be a grey man. Man.
Yeah, which I be unnoticeable, shouldn't you?
Which I sort of can't do because of my height.
Yeah,
but
languages? You've not
languages. That's good. I can speak a bit of Spanish.
Okay, yeah.
Necesito.
I'm not sure.
Reports.
I'm not sure that that spying on Espanol es necesito. I suppose you go to South America, don't I? Yeah, Cuba.
Yeah. Other skills like for the modern spy.
Well, one spy, you're probably going to want to be quite proficient in technology and computers and things like that, aren't you?
Yeah. So Neil, all of what you've said is wrong.
Can steal the microphone. Oh, okay. There we go.
All of what you said. Because what I'm doing...
It wasn't Weel, it was fake.
It was fake. No, it was, that's one way you can go.
That's one way you can go, yeah.
But you're going a different way. I'm going to advertise myself as a trad spy.
Okay.
With the peeping and the sneaking.
Nice.
So my spycraft is going to be very much stuff like starting rumours.
Okay, yeah.
That's good, isn't it? Listening at doors with a glass.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good, isn't it? Don't need technology then.
You make a silencer for your pistol out of a bottle?
I'm not carrying.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Trad spy.
Yeah.
If I need to kill someone...
a bit more John le Carre, yeah.
If I need to kill someone, I'll simply do it with my overwhelming physical force. I am the weapon.
Oh, there you
go. I'll pretend to be reading newspapers and cut eye holes in it.
Nice.
That's good, isn't it? Or potentially sometimes paintings if there's a crawl space behind the wall. Here's a little tip for you.
Follow you around the room.
Yeah, writing notes in lemon juice.
Oh yeah, little hairdryer.
Trad spy. Yeah. Using very basic alphanumeric ciphers where one is A, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Trad spy. Master of disguise. I've got 3 disguises.
Is that a beard and glasses?
No, man of the cloth.
Okay.
No one notices a sneaky priest, right? To their cost often.
Yeah.
Housemaid. That's good.
Okay.
You're blending into the background. Or Spanish diplomat.
Okay. Yeah.
Hola. Necesito un dinero por...
Probably want to work on that Spanish a little bit.
For en negocio. I need money for the business. It's nice, isn't it? So another skill, a cross skill, which I've got, because I'm a pigeon fancier, so I can send notes tied to the pigeon's legs. And the other thing, looking through desks at night and then blowing out my walking around candle if I hear someone coming. Trad spy.
Oh, nice. Problem with candles, Chris, they're going to smell it.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe. Well, not if you get. You can get like.
And that's another
wickless
security
candles.
guard you've had to kill.
Oh, see. The problem
Put
with
him
all
on
this
the pile.
the problem with all this transpire stuff is I keep getting caught and having to kill people.
Right, about the whole approach.
I've basically cleared out the Russian embassy.
We've now got the police investigating yet another serial killer.
Yep.
Really can't afford.
But, I managed to
Kind
get...
of the opposite of not being noticed.
But I did manage to get some information. What information's that? I've got the blueprints to the Russian embassy in London. We've got those. We built it. Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
And let's not even talk about the forensic evidence you left behind.
Oh, loads,
We're
yeah.
going to get into why.
Sweating, crying.
At least of the bodily fluids.
I'm like the manga / live action character, the crying Freeman.
They made a film out of that, didn't they?
Yeah, it's good.
Well, what's his face? Christopher Gans. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good film. So, speaking of crying whilst killing, this week's episode, we are looking at quite a big urban legend from the mighty state of Wisconsin, which sits arse to face next to Canada up near the Great Lakes. Just so you, I believe that's a term people use. I
would imagine so.
A lot of very famous people from Wisconsin, Neil. Do you want to guess them?
I've got a feeling this is Chicago. I was thinking, does Dan Aykroyd come from around that way?
No.
He's Canadian. Is he Canadian, Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder, he's famous, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he is, yeah.
Oprah Winfrey, she's famous, isn't she?
Oh, she's very famous.
Chris Farley, he's dead, isn't he?
He's pretty dead, yeah.
Willem Dafoe, he might be dead, I'm not sure.
A more method acting a corpse, yeah.
Mark Buffalo, the actor who plays Hulks.
Buffalo, isn't it?
Buffalo, yeah.
Okay.
Tony Shalhoub, who plays the monk.
Lube, is it? Oh, yeah. Okay,
Hello,
yeah.
I am the monk. Oh, why have you left this pencil here? That's how he talks.
That's how he talks. That's quite a lot of famous people, actually.
A lot in it. There's 15 more as well. Let's see if we know any of them.
Yeah. I've heard of all of these
Heather
people.
Graham.
Yeah.
She's famous. And there's some other like Bradley Whitford who you'd recognise if you saw him.
I don't know that name. Bradley Whitford.
And Ellen Corby, the American actress and screenwriter. She played the role of Esther Grandma Walton on the CBS television show, also called The Waltons.
Yeah, wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know, mate.
Don't think I recognise Bradley Whitford.
Yeah, you'd recognise his face. He's
on the West Wing, apparently, which I never saw.
He's on the West Wing, and if you've watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he plays Peralta's dad.
Okay. I watched. It's one of those ones I really should go back and watch the whole thing. But
they're good.
I watched about 2 or 3 series of it, and then kind of like
they're enjoyable.
Yeah.
So we are looking at
too much TV, too little time.
Yeah, not for me. I'm jobless. So we are looking at a website called the Wausau, WAUSAU Daily Herald. I assume it's a place. Yeah, and it is the Hodag, the outlandish story of Wisconsin's mythical beast on its 125th birthday.
Oh, is it another Yeti type fella?
No.
Or is it a little? Okay.
No, well, it's big.
Oh, okay.
So to describe, well, I don't know. It'll probably describe it in the article.
That's true.
You can simply look it up as well. There is always that.
I'm going to do this
for you. This article.
Oh, no, I like it.
Starts in the town of Rhinelander, which I assume may have been settled by Germans.
I was watching Death Race 2000 the other night for some reason. It's quite cheesy but quite fun. And this looks very much like the monster you'd have in a Roger Corman movie.
Does it?
Kind of a bit cheap special effects.
Yes.
But kind of memorable and outlandish.
Yeah, it's kind of like lizard-like with spines and horns, big teeth, lovely, big, long acrylics.
Kind of like a massive Pokemon or something.
Yeah, but horrible one.
But less cute, you know.
I like the fact that it both has kind of like fangs but also like straight human style teeth.
All those pointy ones. But yeah, it's got like a row of teeth, hasn't it?
Probably it might be.
But nicely aligned with each other. Weirdly.
Do you know what?
And then two big fangs.
I think someone's had a bit of work done.
I think yeah, he's been to see the cosmetic surgeon.
Cosmetic dentist. I think he's. Do you know what?
Stephen,
I think he's been to Turkey and had his teeth ground down and then had caps put in, like all the reality stars do, or people who like themselves too much. They like themselves so much that they mutilate their bodies. So
we've got to have a hobby.
Yeah. Well, there's some theories about why people kind of appear to be quite vain these days, and one theory is that because home ownership is an impossible dream for anyone under 40, and what people used to do is they would put their personality and their mark on doing their house, like home improvements, all of that kind of stuff. But because they can't do that now, then they do it to themselves instead.
Well, what you've got to do is you've got to do it to your bike, Chris. You put in some wicked spinners.
Yeah, put those things that make it go click, 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 click. Yeah, Tony, I used to have on my BMX, I had Tony the Tiger reflectors in the wheels. Pretty good, huh?
That's how you get yourself, you build up your self-prod. Yeah, no, I think vanity's been around whenever you like. Do you know what I mean?
I used to, on my grifter, it had a back mudguard, and I used to fold the mudguard down so it would, the grips in the back tyre would vibrate it so it sounded like a motorbike.
Make a noise, yeah.
Yeah, good time. We used to, on the estate I lived for a couple of years in South London, we used to play, did it a few times, the game of Road Rash, because the computer game of Road Rash had come out, where we would drive round a agreed track around the estate and try and kick each other. Yeah. Different times now. We were, that's what eight-year-olds used to do.
Oh yeah,
they're not even allowed out now.
Oh no, they're in a bubble somewhere.
Disgusting.
With an iPad.
Yeah, that's social media. That's what Putin's noticed.
You know what's doing them real harm?
What is?
Social media on their iPad.
Oh yeah,
just let them out.
Do you see that? iPad sales are pretty much bottomed out now. No one's buying tablets anymore.
Well, I think as well, because it's like when they bring them out every year, it's like, well, what's the difference between a 5-year-old iPad and a whatever one from?
I think people just realise it's stupid, and they've got phones and also laptops.
Well, yeah, there's probably a bit of that as well.
Right. So, the creature has a dragon's body, a fanged, snarly grin, and smelled of buzzard meat and skunk perfume. The Northwoods Timberman wrote in the Rhineland newspaper. Eugene Simeon Shepherd described how the creature, a terrible brute, of a hodag with the strength of an ox and the ferocity of a bear and the cunning of a fox, tore apart the hunting dogs he and his friends had tried to use to corner the beast. They shot the hodag with heavy rifles and large-bore squirt guns loaded with poisonous water.
What?
We're super soakers.
And this is like late 19th century as well.
It's like 1875 or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Finally, after hours of struggle, Shepherd and his friends resorted to using dynamite to kill the beast. As you do.
So they did kill it.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough.
It is pretty tough.
You can't poison it. It's bulletproof.
Well, I mean, you're squirting poison water at it. It doesn't have to drink it. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
I mean, it's more to do with bad hunting practice so far, I would say. But it tore apart a load of dogs, so, we'd have to know what type of dogs, their nourishment levels, that kind of thing. So, the column was published 125 years ago this month in an October 1893 edition of the Near North newspaper. It was the first time Shepherd wrote about the Hodag, though he'd been telling stories about the beast for years in the logging camps that dotted the deep woods of northern Wisconsin. Neil, just quickly to cut in, did you want to apologise to our customers for why we're late?
Oh yeah, it's me having laptop issues again. Well, we're still coming. We're still going to come out on a Thursday, aren't we?
Yeah, but like late.
Do you think anyone's sitting there jonesing to have it first thing in the morning?
I think no, maybe. Maybe we do. We do get quite. We do get a burst of activity when it first comes out.
I apologise. Yeah, no, I was late working and then I didn't sort out my laptop. I realised I really need to keep it plugged in at all times to keep the charge up. But
yeah, so weird that you don't.
Well, sometimes I forget, Chris. You know, these things happen. I was looking at buying another laptop. I don't remember buying one until next year.
Oh,
I save money.
Yeah, I could potentially put it through my my shell corporation, which I set up in case I get contract work, and then I could use that laptop purchase to take off my tax next year for all the money that I haven't earned. Interesting. That's how the system works then.
Well, once you look thinking about laundering something, because I would definitely discuss it on a podcast first.
I'm not bothered. Not bothered at all. It's for work purposes.
What you won't be saying when you go to Chokey for tax evasion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, if I don't get a job within 5 weeks, then I'm going to have to move out of my flat and in with some family. So, like, what's preferable? Moving into a small flat with my 70-year-old mother, or at the age of 41, or white-collar prison?
Oh, no, you put it like that.
Do you know what I mean?
You make some contacts as well.
Make some nice contacts. Yeah, I wouldn't be out of work long.
That's the thing, listeners. What you want to do, you know, for recidivism, it's committing the right types of crime.
Yeah.
So yeah,
100%.
you know, yeah, you don't want to meet like, you know, safe breakers and, you know, like whatever we kind of crews have in normal prison.
You don't want to meet. You don't want to meet
crime and just.
You don't want to meet someone who's thrown acid in the face of a Tesco Express cashier.
I've got a CV so I can do office work and very loose morals. Let's see if we can do business.
Yeah, I can do admin and I can keep my mouth shut. Yeah. So
consultancy position, here we come. Yeah.
So back to the Hodag. So
Hodag, yeah.
So Shepherd wrote about the Hodag again 3 years later, this time claiming he'd captured a live beast.
Ooh.
A few days after that, he caused a sensation when he showed a Hodag in a dimly lit tent at the first ever Oneida County Fair.
No, you can't take it out of the tent.
No, it's got to be darkly lit because it would go angry.
Was it alive? I assumed it was a corpse.
He captured a live beast.
Oh, live. Okay. Definitely not a huckster. That's not what my senses are screaming right now.
It's just like his mate. Just like his mate on all fours. Painted.
Or just like a dog, yeah. I mean, that was Hand of the Baskervilles, wasn't it? They just got a big dog and painted it with luminous paint.
Yeah, just a big dog. Elementary, my dear Watson.
Of course, and then I thought, what?
This hound is nothing but a big hound.
Spectral vision on the moors.
By Jove, Holmes, I don't know how you do it.
No, do it.
Elementary, I simply put down some dog food. So, that the whole dog did not exist was barely an impediment. He and his friend sculpted the beast with wood and reeking hides from a tannery. Shepherd's sons moved the beast as if it were a puppet, growling and hissing. Nice.
So yeah, just got a wooden toy. Just moving it backwards and forwards, presumably. Oh, don't get too close. It's fierce. Oh. No, we've not used this phrase for a while, but respect the grift. We do like when people turn one of these urban legends into a money-making opportunity.
Absolutely.
Right. Or, you know, if it's like your local town or whatever, you know, get some tourists in. It's harmless, you know.
Again, you know, people don't listen to this podcast. It's all right for me to say, but I've been making a bit of off the books bumps by selling haunted dolls on eBay.
Nice. With
a backstory. Beautiful.
Who's to say they aren't haunted, Chris? We don't know.
Oh, they might well be after what I've currently
talking. Well, exactly, yeah. They want to be.
They want to be. Well, if they're not, then the world's upside down. So Shepherd's sons moved the beast, blah, blah, blah. Shepherd quickly hustled people in and out of the tent for their own safety, he told them.
Oh, yeah. Classic. I like him. Shepherd's great on me.
Yeah, I like him. Headlines about the Hodag spread across the county. It was the apex of Shepherd's career as a raconteur and trickster. But Shepherd also had a serious purpose behind the ruse.
I feel like the town's going to turn on him at some point. It's going to be sad.
He could see opportunity and dollar signs swirling around the
Wait,
creatures.
it's just a lug with a belt on it. Damn it.
He could see opportunity and dollar signs swirling around the creature's fiendish head and spiked tail. The timber boom was about to bust because they chopped down all the trees.
Yeah, well,
and
sadly inevitable. Yeah.
And Shepherd saw it coming.
Just wait until they grow back up again.
How long will that be?
Not
500 years.
Yeah.
The number of Wisconsin's valuable white pines were dwindling as thousands of lumberjacks mowed them down. In 1890, according to the Wisconsin Historical Society, 23,000 men worked in more than 450 logging camps. So Shepherd began to buy land that had been clear-cut, sectioning out parcels to sell to future farmers. He's a bit of a business guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
The key to keeping Rhinelander alive and vibrant, he and others believe, was to put it front and centre of the attention of people looking to start anew, build businesses and help development.
It's a bit of community spirit.
Yeah, so he did it with a fake dragon dog.
Yeah, also, hey, there's worse ways that,
Yep. So the Hodag might just be a creature of spectacle that would attract more people to Rhinelander and the Wisconsins northwards. He could command attention by making outlandish statements and too good to check claims, which, thanks to modern technology and a newly powerful national news media, would spread across the country and the world. Neil, he was right. The storyteller and the showman creates Wisconsin's most famous and long-lasting viral marketing scheme. Shepherd was a quintessential product of his time and place. His creation would shape Rhinelander's reputation as a tourist destination, and it continues to draw attention, people, and dollars to the city today. But behind all of it lurks a darker tale of a volatile man haunted by demons. Don't they all? Don't all tales have that? In the end, the storyteller and showman became a sad and lonely shell of a person, isolated from his family, friends, and the community he helped to create.
Well, that's sad.
He was the kind of guy that you'd want to go and have a beer with, said Kurt Kortenhoff, a historian and author of Long Live the Hodag, The Life and Legacy of Eugene Simpson Shepherd. But he was not the kind of guy you'd want to be your dad.
I mean, fair enough.
Pretty sure that most people in sort of the 1870s weren't the kind of guy you wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, probably not, by and large. It's
No, you didn't have, you wouldn't have got pictures, you wouldn't have got posters of topless, muscular men holding babies back in those days, would you?
Well, no, because they weren't as massively insecure in their own masculinity. So busy getting on with building log cabins or whatever it is. Yeah.
Looking at posters of Cindy Crawford, if you were me. Teenage times.
Nice.
Shepherd was born
before the internet, Chris. We didn't, totally.
It was before the internet. There was that and catalogues. Yeah. So Shepherd was born on March 22nd, 1854, in Old Fort Howard, now known as Green Bay. Go Packers, go Cheeseheads!
Yeah, because isn't Wisconsin a cheese state or something?
They eat a lot. Yeah, they like curds. They eat a lot of curds. They drink It's beer and curds is like the staples.
Well, apparently, according to this, it produces over 50% of all cheddar cheese in the United States.
It's not cheddar cheese. It's not from cheddar.
Well, because we never sort of got the what's it on it, did we? The proper labelling, so they could call anything cheddar these days.
Yeah,
I think there's some.
Neil, do you know what I miss since I've not been eating like bad stuff? A really nice strong cheddar.
You get it like it's almost like crystalline in that.
Well, it's got the crystalline in it. Just let it melt in your mouth.
I love cheddar.
As long as you're not seeing any other humans, that's the way to eat it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Then just pop in a herring, eat some garlic.
Yeah, anyone who hasn't tried like proper cheddar, because any old bland shite that's like yellow cheese they sell as cheddar these days.
Crap. Yeah.
Don't get the mild stuff. You want nice, extra mature,
strong, extra mature cheddar. Oh, my mouth is watering.
Good and melty as well.
Cheese which I'm eating at the moment, Neil. 50% fat cheddar. Doesn't melt properly.
Yeah.
It does a job, but so it's taking all the joy out of life, really.
Yeah.
So his family moved to the New London area shortly thereafter. Didn't do as well as New York.
No, apparently not.
Where Shepherd went to school up until the 6th grade and worked on his father's farm. Shepherd was 12 years old when his father died. The boy was forced to make his own way in the world, hired on as a hand on other area farms. Kortenhoff writes, for a short time, he piloted a tugboat on the Wolf River. Be fun, wouldn't it?
He's had a life, hasn't he?
As long as you get your 8 pints in before you start.
Yes.
At the age of... Yeah, that's it. You've got to be relaxed when you're driving a boat. You can't, because the sea's relaxing.
You don't want to be too tense in a tugboat.
Yeah. No, if you're too tense, you'll pull a muscle because the sea's choppy.
Yeah.
You want to kind of ragdoll effect.
Crash into the lock or whatever. I don't know what a tugboat is.
What you want to do is rope yourself onto the steering wheel and just ragdoll around.
Oh, the tugboats, the ones that like take other boats out to sea or whatever. Put them along. Yeah.
Do you know what?
I was thinking of kind of like a barge, like a knockdown or something.
Do you know what, Neil? They're not fast, but those bastards have a hell of a lot of torque.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes. It really. Do you know what? It really. The propeller to water traction is really something to behold. At the age of 16, Shepherd caught a break and began to work in the Northwoods as an apprentice to a new lumber timber cruiser. Timber cruising, or land looking, was a profession that assessed tracts of forested property for the value of the lumber that could be produced from the land's trees. Like assessments.
I'd say that's worth 20 grand.
What, a year?
Nice. I don't know.
Well, about the trees?
No, I assume what you do is you go and look at a forest and you go, you get about, whatever amount out of this.
Yeah, this tree's worth about $5.
I'll buy this for you for 5,000. He says.
Dollar
it's worth 4 times. Yeah. But you got to sign today.
Well, there's plenty of other people who want to sign. Your neighbour, he just made a killing. It was physically demanding work. This was not a job for the faint of heart or the weak, said Jerry Schiedel, 71, of Rhinelander. Rhinelander sounds like a.
It sounds. I imagine they must have had
Germanic
origins. Yeah, because Rhineland literally is.
Yes, the Rhinelands, it's the River Rhine. Yeah. But Rhinelander sounds a bit like the German version of Homelander. If they had a German version of The Boys.
Okay. That would be
No, it would be Rhinelander. It would be Rhinelander, okay, Neil?
Okay. Homeland.
No, but it's Rhinelander. But it's Rhinelander, okay? Okay? Do you mind if I carry on?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Schiedel is the former mayor of Rhinelander, the German Homelander. It says it here.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And he also portrayed Shepherd in a play called The Hodag Increments by Michael
pretentious take on the story, and that's coming from me.
You had to hike, ride horseback, and set up camp. Timber cruising, which is a very different thing these days.
Yeah. Still a lot of lumberjacks involved there.
A lot of lumberjacks, yeah. Also required a sharp, detail-oriented mind. Shepherd was good at it. The job made him rich. Around 1882, 100 years before the birth of Chris Flynn, and the same year of the formation of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Don't sneeze when I say my football team. Rhinelander was opening up for timber development, and Shepherd moved there and essentially made it his hometown for the rest of his life. He also added to his wealth by buying and selling property of his own. Railroads were running lines into the deep forests of northeast Wisconsin, and there was plenty of money to be made for Shepherd and others involved in the timber industry and land speculation. So much easier back then when people didn't already own everything.
Yeah.
As a timber cruiser, Shepherd spent many days and nights alone with a small team deep in the undeveloped Northwoods. I've heard that one before. But he just as often bunked up in timber camps where men, often poor immigrants from European countries, cut the trees that would be milled into boards. Part of lumber camp culture, after a day's work was done, was storytelling, and Shepherd was a master.
Yes, tales. Well, we already know he's a raconteur, don't we? So.
Planning businessman, raconteur.
How many talents?
Con man. Excellent. Folklore tends to develop among people who are relatively isolated, said Lenwood Sharp, an amateur folklorist and editor of the website lumberwoods.com. It's not safe for work. Don't click on it.
Yeah, please don't.
You might get swatted. When you have a group of people isolated from the rest of society for months at a time, they will generally get to talking. A similar phenomenon occurred in the U.S. military. There were no radios or televisions in the lumber camp, Sharp said, because they hadn't been invented, and most of the men couldn't read. They relied on each other for entertainment, and all the men were expected to provide some kind of diversion. What would be the diversion that you would supply, Neil, if you were in the lumber camps? I would set up games of horseshoe.
Mine would be freeform jazz poetry.
Oh, brilliant. Lovely.
Just like Ginsberg's Howl or whatever.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, a bit of scatting.
Life's like random like this. Ooh,
be good, isn't it? But jazz, of course, also, like TV and radio, hadn't been invented yet.
No. That's why it's blow their minds. Be like Back to the Future.
God, just get them all on the skag. Beautiful.
Yeah. Nice.
Lovely. Well, I've just become a skag dealer. You could do the jazz.
So you make a profit.
You do the jazz, I sell the skags.
Nice.
Lovely. Musicians would play their instruments. Some men would play cards. But a lot of them would tell story. Can you imagine how many times you did the same fucking story?
Yeah.
I'm back on the drink, I think.
Which is back before TV and stuff, isn't it? So I suppose you're less exposed to entertainment.
Yeah, but like if you're with the same group of people, how many stories does anyone have?
It was between that and staring at a fucking tree. Well, I'd probably go and stare at a tree.
Yeah. Probably start worshipping the tree.
Yeah.
So a lot of them would tell stories, often bringing with them tales and myths from the old country. Sometimes. So that's
good. Learn a little bit about each other's culture.
Yeah. We don't really tell stories these days, do we? Which is interesting for me to say on what is essentially a storytelling podcast.
Yeah. I think it knows. I think the audience.
If you were sat around a campfire, how many stories do you think you have in your mind that you could recount to people?
Like, you mean like a traditional tale or something like that?
No, any stories.
Or any. I don't really. Well, not like traditional folklore kind of stuff.
No, any stories like EastEnders, whatever.
That's what I'd probably end up doing, isn't it? Just like describing some film or something.
But would you know it well enough to be able to sit there and describe it and do it in a story fashion?
I don't know. I think I'd give it a go.
Yeah? All right. Well, we'll try that next time I see you.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, that could be a spin-off podcast. Neil Stories. Neil Story Hour with Neil.
Neil Story Hour.
So, musicians would play their instruments.
Bert LeVay was busy.
Patrick Stewart was unreachable at this time.
It's really was well outside our price stage, as was Bert LeVay in fairness.
So, musicians would play their instruments.
What's James McAvoy up to these days?
I don't know. Whatever. So, sometimes stories would be a group effort, with men taking their turns and each trying to outdo the others through techniques such as exaggeration, absurdity, or the outrageous.
There you go.
The idea was to thrill, scare, amuse, and absorb.
Ooh.
Shepherd could leave an audience on the edge of their seat from suspense or falling out of them with laughter.
Oh, sometimes in the same sentence.
Oof. It's a whiplash.
That was an
whiplash
uncomfortable
storyteller.
Yeah.
He just had a feeling with what was going to fly, Shadell said. He'd be traveling, timber cruising, he'd stop at timber cans and he'd lay it on them.
He would have been a rock star today. He would have been Mick Jagger.
Could
have been washed up drunk that he ended up becoming.
Well, I don't know. Mick Jagger's not really.
Or if Mick Jagger went back into the 19th century, he'd be.
Mick Jagger's not really got the frame or the physical attributes to be in the Northwoods.
Well, no. He might have built up a bit of muscle if he had to.
He's too small.
Too skinny.
He's just he's almost too wee.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't be able to. He'd be what?
Be little Michael, the run of the little.
What would he have? What would he have become? Bellboy, maybe.
Yeah.
Pathetic. Yeah. So, one of the purposes of the first Oneida County Fair, Courthoff writes, was to lure people to the Rhinelander area as the timber industry started its decline. The fair would tout farming and other business interests. While organisers turned to Eugene Shepherd to help build excitement for the fair, he knew the Hodag would do the job. Shepherd and the Hodag did not disappoint.
So this might be one of our earliest, because we've come across a few like the Rougarou and things like that have kind of become sort of synonymous with their towns.
Yeah.
It sounds like one of the earlier ones.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time.
A lot of them are kind of 20th century, aren't they? They kind of start.
Well, the Rougarou's been around forever, but they've started doing a Rougarou festival and stuff.
Festival comes from mid 20th century, though, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, back in those days, people were still probably really religious and were like, false idols or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever form of mutated Protestantism they were worshipping in that area. So Shepherd set the stage for his fair exhibition by once again writing a column for the Near North newspaper. So I think he's had this plan for a while. He's like been going around timber camps going, I saw this thing. He's like reported it to a newspaper. Like it's taken like he's been spreading this about for a few years. It's quite.
Well, I think he's one of life's natural bullshitters, and it's just like, but he's good at winging it and taking advantage where he can.
Well, maybe he came up with this bullshit story and people were like, wow. And then he was like, okay, that's a good bullshit story. And then he thought, do you know what? I can actually. Yeah.
That's what I reckon.
Nice. So this time, the story was the tale of how he and a crew of his friends had captured a living Hodag by knocking it out with chloroform, which is very trad spy.
Yeah.
Very trad spy of him. The story told how the gang blocked a Hodag den with rocks, affixed a chloroform-laden sponge to a stick, which is how I wash, and overcame the beast. A few days after the column was printed, Shepherd displayed the Hodag at the fair. His friend Luke Kearney built the Hodag, according to an essay by the Wisconsin Historical Society. It was 7 feet long, 30 inches high, black and hairy. It had 12 horns rising along its spine and short legs ending with long claws. Shepherd's son Leighton and Claude manipulated the Hodag like puppeteers. They moaned and groaned and growled, which is actually an R. Kelly song.
Yeah.
Which I think was about a Hodag. Moan and groan and growl.
Growl.
I'm gonna moan and groan and growl.
It did sound real Kelly, but there you go.
We did a song called Moan and Groan. Yeah, actually did. Yeah. Moan and groan. Was it him or was it? It might have been Mark Morrison. I think we talked about this last week.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
So they rattled the chain link fence.
Yeah.
Which is the sound of animals.
Yes.
I guess so. It sounded like it was butting against trying to get out of the cage.
Like they're trying to restrain it. Because the thing is, you want to scare people as well. Because if you're hearing the chain,
don't want him hanging about.
He's on the end of his tether, and he's
you don't want him looking too closely.
And we're holding him back as best we can.
So I'll be honest with you. Even if you knew it was fake, you'd still go in, wouldn't you? Because it's a little bit of excitement in a very unexciting. Yeah, you know.
What we've got to do is sit and listen to Frank's story about the parrot again.
Yeah, and what's in that one? Oh, it's heritage. We got heritage corn in this field.
Or eat more bland
lovely.
cheddar. Yeah, you go for it, wouldn't you?
There you go, lovely bland cheddar.
Something new.
Are you sick of your taste buds being overworked by food?
Have a tasteless cheese.
With all the fat. So the beast even smelled putrid, Schindel said, because some of the Hodag parts were created from cast-off products from Rhinelander's tanning factory. The scene was set inside.
It's good.
Yeah, so a little bit of effort.
That's worth your quarter, surely.
Yeah,
might be fake.
Well, doesn't matter, does it? It's anything. Just have something to have a look at. Oh, yeah. Will you be back next year? Good. I'll be counting the days.
Well, didn't have the transcriptions act in those days. Was it technically illegal?
So, the scene was set inside a dimly lit tent, and the beast was held behind curtains a good distance away from the crowd. At least some fairgoers got caught up by the special effects and believed the Hodag was real. And after that, the legend of Shepherd's Hodag really took off. Newspapers from across the country, such as the Philadelphia Inquirer, reported about the Hodag as if it was real. It wasn't long before the whole thing was reported to have been a hoax, but by then the story was out and Shepherd's goal was attained.
I'll be honest with you, I suspect quite a lot of these newspaper authors are kind of like, fuck it.
Yeah,
it'll
sell. It'll sell, yeah.
What's going to be a better story, pretending it's real or saying it's a hoax? Or even better still, let's say it's real for a bit and then reveal it's a hoax afterwards with absolutely no shame.
Build it up and tear it down.
Yeah, exactly. Get twice as many columns out of it.
So Sharp, the folklorist, doesn't call Shepherds a con artist. A con, Sharp argues, requires an intention to deceive, and Shepherd's Hodag was always presented with a wink and a nudge.
Oh, okay. That's quite interesting.
In the context of the era, the Hodag was part of the lumber camp lore, a tall tale that most people understood to be exaggerated and fiction. Shepherd was honest about the story when asked, Sharp said, and most people saw the Hodag as parody.
So what's happened here is, and again, he's well ahead of his time, so he's like, one of the early ironists.
Yeah.
He's sort of like doing a bit of a winking at the camera sort of thing. But then a bunch of thick people mistook it for something that was real. And then when they realised they'd been tricked, they got really angry about it. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, come on. Like, no, you said. Strictly. Well, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be funny if I'd actually come. Yeah. When you asked me afterwards, then I did.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, now you're telling me that because you're trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, false flag.
Yeah. What do you? Who's really pulling the strings?
Who's brought you out?
Yeah, who's pulling the strings on?
Who's big Hodag? Yeah,
big Hodag. Yeah.
You know who, Chris? Cheddar industry.
The cheddar industry. That's right. Yeah, they live in a bunker underneath Cheddar Gorge.
Yeah,
lovely Cheddar Gorge. It's quite spectacular. It's it's Britain's Grand Canyon.
Yeah. I mean, accurate, but not in an impressive way. We don't really have that level of size of scenery or whatever. A lot of beautiful parts of our.
Well, we're not a country the size of a continent, are we?
No,
so
exactly.
We can have a bit less. But the Hodag was also conceived during a time of scientific exploration and inquiry, Sharp said. Unknown animals were still being discovered, Sharp said. For someone living, say, in Philadelphia, it was not outside the realms of possibility that an animal like the Hodag could be found in the wilderness of North Wisconsin.
I suppose you've still got bits that haven't been fully explored. Naturalists are still kind of writing the book a little bit. That's not beyond the realms of possibility. But it's because it's not that out. I mean, I suppose it's a bit outlandish, but it's not. You can make something like what do they call it? Is it a Komodo dragon?
I think so. I mean, but because we know more about science now, then I would say it's unlikely to find a lizard that size in somewhere where there's a lot of snow.
No, you'd have found it, but 120 years ago.
But they wouldn't have. But if you're reading it in Philadelphia and you haven't been to school, then you're probably not going to be thinking that doesn't exist because it's a cold-blooded creature and it wouldn't be able to live in those climes. So, the stories about Shepherd that are most remembered today revolve around his outgoing, funny, and inventive personality. He was all those things, but he was also a heavy drinker, took pranks too far, and treated his wives, plural, and children terribly.
It's a shame.
Shepherd married twice. His first, well, it's like all comedians. There's a dark sadness.
There's a dark sadness. Yeah, there's the abyss within. Yeah.
Shepherd married twice. His first wife, Mildred Shepherd, alleges that Eugene abused her. A judge overseeing the divorce proceedings, according to records quoted in Kortenhoff's book, agreed. Eugene, the court found, became violent and reckless in his actions and language.
That was probably quite significant in those days as well, to get a divorce.
Yeah. Kortenhoff said that Shepherd remarried a younger woman, Caretta Gunderson, or Carrie, on a 3-day drunk in Green Bay.
I'm getting the impression it's a bit like, oh God, what's his face?
Don't know.
Over at Post Office. There's a famous literary figure. He was always drunk. Oh, I don't know.
Hemingway
will do. I was thinking of someone else, but.
So, just a few weeks after this was just a few weeks after his divorce was final. Shepherd's relationship with Carrie also splintered.
Bukowski, that's who I was thinking of, sorry.
Okay.
Charles Bukowski. He basically just wrote novels about being a drunk, working at the post office.
I'm a drinker
that's a big famous one.
Drinker with a right.
Well, he was like a womanizer and a bit of a drunk. And a lot of people read it, that's really cool. Like people in their 20s, it's kind of like, whereas actually it's kind of like it's a bit more double-edged the way he writes it. It's just like an honest account of his life.
So I would slightly question, and I know at different times, but I'd slightly question Carrie for marrying someone who was 3 days into a bender.
Well, no, exactly. I think you've both done that.
Do you know what I mean? That's a bit like people it's like Vegas wedding, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine she was probably drunk as well, to be honest with you. I think it's probably, like I say, it's probably, everyone involved's probably been drinking heavily.
Yeah. So, but they stayed together and the marriage splintered near the end of his life. And the two separated but did not divorce. So Kortenhoff believes that Shepherd was showing signs of dementia towards the end of his life, as well as being physically weak. All right.
Maybe.
Kortenhoff reckons he could have him.
Tough guy.
Yeah. Do you know what I reckon? And to be honest, compared to me, he was physically weak.
Yeah, it was nothing. Ladies formally cute.
All comments are responded to. So Shepherd was a hard drinker for years, Schiddle said. I think he had some demons he had to quell. His highs were really high and his lows were really low. Could have just been bipolar.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing is, if he's sort of, because it sounded like he was kind of like quite a good character, but yeah, he's self-medicating maybe. It's just sad.
The thing is, like, sometimes that's the case though with drinkers. Like there was someone who I knew who died when I was quite young, who my grand's sister, who I call my Auntie Francie, was married to, called Jimmy Sweeney. And like everyone in the family loved him because he was like at a family party, he was a right laugh and like always doing stupid stuff, like loving a drink and stuff. Yeah. But actually, like sometimes it was quite horrible at home. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of like.
Well, no, exactly. It's like, you're just denying reality, basically, aren't you?
Yeah.
But you're fun to be around in short doses.
Until you're not.
Yeah.
Until you're not, right?
Because you're not facing up to things.
Yeah. I'm sure most families have someone like that in. So Shepherd was alone and isolated from his family when he died of chronic nephritis, an inflammation of his kidneys that ultimately led to kidney failure. March 26, 1923. He was 69 years old.
It's a decent innings for a boozer, then.
Yeah, not bad.
Very much the Oliver Reed of bullshitters.
And for a time after Shepherd's death, the town of Rhinelander did not embrace Shepherd as a pioneer or the Hodag as its icon. There was too much.
Take the good with the bad, haven't you?
There was too much ill will revolving around the man.
Yeah, you can take the good with the bad. He's put the place on the map. He's
but
don't jettison all the good things he did.
So what I'll say is the ill will didn't last very long.
Well, there you go.
So because he died in 23, and by the 1930s. The Hodag was Rhinelander School's high school mascot. And Eugene Shepherd's grand hoax gradually became a Wisconsin legend, and Shepherd's reputation as an eccentric, fun-loving Northwoodsman took hold.
So you need a little bit of time to just sort of varnish over the rough bits.
That's it.
But that's nice in a way, isn't it? He's left a bit of a legacy.
He has.
Well, not many of us will have that accomplishment. I know it was just like coming up with a fictional creature.
Well, we'll have this podcast, won't we, which will presumably echo through the ages.
That'll be why the aliens finally come down and wipe out humanity. Any remnants of like Shakespeare, that's gone. Well, don't you weigh up the goods? But yeah, it firmly weighs the scales down.
It's very much like the three body problem, but we didn't mean to do it.
Yeah. We weren't clever enough. It's not like we're astrophysicists bringing it on because we're depressed about the state of society. We weren't moaning about it a lot. Completely inadvertent.
No, it's just that they really took against our personalities.
Yeah, no, it's when it because it was just coming out and they would sort of keep monitoring it. When it got up to like the second 1,000th podcast, they're still doing this, right? Fuck this.
Yeah. Do you know what? These are soft lads. We can take them.
Set the safe ones over.
So, in 1939...
Targeting those two lads? No, the whole of humanity.
I'm taking them all. I wouldn't even bother targeting those two. They've got enough going on. They'll destroy themselves.
Worse, just like some really fucked up version of 28 Days Later.
Do you know what? Like, we're not turning the entire sky into a circuit board and then folding it into one dimension. God, but not for these two cunts.
Yeah. You're just going to wipe out the rest of humanity. And unbelievably, they're still making the fucking podcast. They've not got the message.
Nah, it's fine. We'll take their brains to study.
With these two.
In 1939, the Hodag basketball team went to state. Good, isn't it? I think.
If only what that means. I think it means the regionals. Next stop, semi-regionals.
I think it.
Then finals.
The state finals, probably. Yeah. So means it did quite well.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Good luck to you.
Go Hodag!
Yeah, go Hodaggers! Rhinelanders forever. No, maybe not quite that much.
Oh dear, easy.
It's getting a bit.
That whole Hitler of High Strangers things really comes back to
Hitler of Cheddar. Yeah.
So, Wisconsin State Journal sports columnist Henry J. McCormick wrote about how the Hodag came about.
There's been a lot more about.
Well, it's massive
some
there
guy's
now.
A grifter rather than the Hodag itself, but it's interesting to do it through this lens.
Shepard has been dead for more than a decade, but the Hodag lives on in the lusty humor of northern Wisconsin.
Okay, not quite porky spelling.
So Shepard knew the Hodag was important. Thousands of people came to view the Hodag, he wrote, and not one of them went away without having learned a little more about North Wisconsin. And many who came out of curiosity only have come to make their homes with us, either permanent or for a few weeks or months out of the year. Long live the Hodag.
Tell you what, Chris, I wouldn't mind doing a bit of farmland, a bit of arable land.
I'd love a bit of arable
growing
land.
my own lovely vegetables and whatnot.
I'm
assuming Wisconsin's quite cold.
It gets cold in the winter,
yeah. Well, probably warm in the summer, but so probably not grapes and stuff, but olive groves.
You're thinking of opening your own vineyard, are you?
Yeah. I suppose you've got to be down in like California or Florida to that sort of business. But
what's wrong with cider or perry?
I'll tell you what, though, I was looking at their. Well, there you go. You could do cider and applejack. I was looking at their cheeses as well, and they've got like it's a French cheese I really like. When I was living over there, Munster.
I know Munster, yeah. It's quite delicious. Smelly.
It really. My flatmate at the time made me take it out of the fridge and leave it out the window because it's so.
Well, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, it's
absolutely fair enough.
It's a pretty moody smelling cheese.
Next to your trainers, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's another story. Yeah, getting told off by an Aussie in what's it called, a hostel in Barcelona.
Because your trainer's stinking.
Just like literally, just like hummed out the whole road.
Oh fuck!
There's some really fucking smelly trainers in there, mate. And I'm like, yeah. Walking around in Barcelona, back what you can tell you. I got up and put them back on again to try and what we're going to do? I've got to. I can't throw them out the window. I've got to walk on it.
What can I say? I'm a ripe man.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
It's a protected characteristic in England. So, what is a Hodag anyway? The word Hodag, according to historian Kurt Kortenhoff, originated as lumberjack slang for a grub hoe, a kind of heavy-duty hoe.
Sorry, we're going to have to walk back through that sentence.
So, the word Hodag...
hoe as in like a spade type.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
like for hoeing.
Yeah.
Not that kind.
Yeah. Sorry. my mind went on a wildly different track there for a second.
Yeah, of course it did. Because you're hoe crazy. Or maddocks, which is a kind of flat-faced pickaxe. So it's like a doodah or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's just pass me the Hodag.
We literally now got into. So we've got from Urban Legend. We started out with like a little dragon monster, and then the life and times of McShenanigans.
Yep, Mr. McShenanigans.
And now we're talking about farming implements.
Well, it's where the word Hodag comes from.
Oh, Hodag. Okay.
So a Hodag is lumberjack slang for a grub hoe or a maddocks.
Okay.
So, but by the time shepherds started working in the woods, the Hodag had been transformed into a mythical monster that arose from cremated remains of an oxen.
So kind of a fun word he heard in the lumber camp, and he's like, we turned that into a monster. Yeah, okay.
Oxen were commonly used as work animals in timber camps, and they had demanding lives. Not only were they beasts of burden assigned to the most difficult tasks of the trade, Kortenhoff wrote, but they also endured all the profanity the crass lumberjack could dish out. All right, so good. So because the oxen had absorbed the worst profanity during their lives, the demons that sprang from them had vile and vengeful souls. Kortenhoff wrote, you fucking oxen, get your fat ass up that fucking slope. Fuck me. Are you shitting me, oxen? So necessary. Although Shepherd didn't invent the idea of the Hodag, his ability to hone a tale helped burnished the beast legend. The Hodag was a terrible brute, Shepherd wrote in his October.
Artists steal, amateurs borrow, was that the phrase?
1893, column for the New North newspaper in Rhinelander. It assumes the strength of an ox, the ferocity of a bear, the cunning of a fox, and the sagacity of a Hindu snake. It is truly the most feared animal the lumberman could come into contact with. And that's the Hodag for you, Neil.
Well, so actually we've gone right back then, so it kind of was a little bit of an urban myth in the
it was about a spirit
lumberjack community
of a burnt ox. Yeah,
and probably a tale that tell around the campfire or whatever.
Yeah, so he said he'd seen one. He said, I've seen one. Yeah, and then he was like, do you know what? Probably few quid in this.
Yeah. So, but also he was, he had common fucking courtesies, like, obviously I'm joking, lads. Yeah, I've seen one.
Yeah, I've got one.
A little bit excited, but then people take things too literally as ever, ruin everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's still really big around there.
Oh, look, that's a nice little tale. I think that's
all right, isn't it?
And I salute our protagonist,
Shepherds.
Yeah.
Smile a
he
shepherd.
Bought himself a little slice of history. Not many can claim that.
And you know what? Plenty of land.
Yeah.
Lovely. So, Neil, let's go through our scoring system. So, Neil, spookiness.
Okay, so I'll take the sort of monster rather than the whole story of the. I mean, dying of kidney failure because of that rampant alcoholism. That's pretty spooky. And the monster itself. I mean, I suppose what we haven't got here is there's not a lot in terms of.
Well, you've seen it.
You've seen it. It kind of looks aggressive, but it's not one where there's not dead bodies turning up and stuff like that. So
doesn't seem to have attacked.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of more or less one of like a spirit or whatever, But
cryptid.
There's not. There's less evidence in terms of the more of a tall tale around the campfire by the sounds of things, which is then sort of co-opted and then just made a bit of cash out of. So the creature itself not very spooky, but I don't know. It's kind of a bittersweet tale, the life of the man, isn't it? As I say, he did quite well, and then his life ended sadly. But then he's kind of he's lived on through.
Immortal.
Would he? Would that have comforted him in his at the end of his life?
Not as much as a bottle of scotch.
Sadly, and a terrifying spectre of alcoholism itself. So I'm going to give it a 5 because it's got a bit of both.
Yeah. So I can imagine that if you're out in the woods, that's probably quite spooky. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're out in because it's wilderness back then.
Yeah.
So these it's kind of like a
things aren't well lit. You're probably walking around just with a
and it's a spooky campfire tale, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Like
I can imagine that it could be quite like unnerving if you're out there. The creature itself, I guess, if you saw it and it was real, quite spooky. It's a bit 7 foot long. It's kind of like crocodile size or alligator size.
That'd be messing, yeah.
So yeah, I think that people it probably gave some people the willies around the campfire. But when it got into the mainstream, less so, more of a bit of a joke. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go down the middle and go 5 as well now. Believability. So it's a hoax, so we know it's not real.
Yeah.
Unless it's a double bluff.
False flag operation.
But all of the actual story and everything of him taking it to the fair and all of that jazz kind of exists. So I think I'm going to have to go down the middle again and give it a 5 now.
I mean, yes, his life story exists, but in terms of the Hodag itself, it's a confirmed hoax. So I've got to give it a 1.
Oh dear. Narrative premise, Neil.
Yeah, no, I think this is quite. I mean, actually, what's interesting is like the Hodag isn't that interesting. Although it's quite an interesting. Like, he come up with quite a cool creature design, but I think if you look at it through the guy's life as they've done with the article, I think that's the right way to do it. So he's taken something that's kind of like folkloric, embellished on it, and then kind of like created something that's representative for his whole state. I think that's really quite interesting. And Americans love their founding kind of mythology, don't they? It's how the country came to be, and somebody's just pulled himself out of nowhere and built all that up. I think that's kind of a cool like a Wild West kind of tale. It's or not wild. I don't know what you call
Frontier.
it. Frontier. Frontier, exactly. Yeah, frontier kind of tale, but a bit more kind of like with rather than just traditional kind of. It's more sort of grifting, kind of like mental acuity and just like sheer chutzpah. So I think it's a cool tale. I'm going to give it an 8. I think because he's an interesting guy.
Yeah, I think it's a good story. I think you could make a film of it and it'd be quite decent.
Yeah,
like you could actually make a film of his life.
Yeah, you could imagine like the right director, like a Prime Ed Burton or something like that, where he's just like a tall tale teller.
Jerry Bruckheimer, is that his name?
Something like that. Well, he's more spectacle, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'd do,
yeah,
I'd do that. The trees would attack him and stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
It'd all be in CGI. Lots of explosions.
Coen Brothers, actually, they could do
Coen Brothers could do a decent one.
They do a really good version of this. Yeah.
So I think it's a good story. It's nice and complete. It's like from sort of having to go out and start working when he was 12 and everything, and kind of like a rise and fall. It's a good. It's got a good.
It's got all of it, hasn't it?
Good. Yeah, it's got proper narrative art. So I'm going to join you on an 8, Neil. And Reach. So it's known in Wisconsin, in the northern part. I don't know how big it is across the state, but I think it's a fairly large one, but it's not known outside of America.
It's probably very localized, but the fact that it's embedded in their kind of statehood means that it's going to persist. So
yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere, and it's been around for 150 years or 125 years. So, but again, it's not widely known, I wouldn't say. So I'm going to give it a 4 now.
I'm going to give it a 6 because I think the fact that it'll be around probably. I mean, only known through Wisconsin, which is not the most famous of states. No disrespect to Wisconsin, but it's not like New York or
Try
California
telling Oprah
that on TV. Well, that's true. Well, yeah, and that's a fair point. But I don't remember her going on about the Hodag. I'd like to see if anyone's got any clips.
Have you watched her entire oeuvre?
Well, no. How could she? So, if anyone's got any clips of Oprah talking about either Wisconsin or the Hodag, I'd be very please send it in. But yeah, so yeah, I think just because it's very representative. Well, I'm going to give it a 5 actually. I'm going to amend that slightly. I think it goes down because I think, like you, it's probably not that very well known. Maybe even in the rest of America, but certainly not probably outside America.
So, thank you so much. 41, right in the sweet spot.
Nice.
Half marks.
Mm-mm.
So
it's a passing grade, Chris.
It's a passing grade.
That's all we ask.
Not a good one, but you might get you on an apprenticeship.
Don't get ahead of yourself. You're going to have to work a bit harder, but
You know, the signs are there. It's an improvement. You know, you do.
We can work on this. It's solid foundations. Yeah.
Yeah. If you just stop talking in class,
Yeah.
do your
Maybe not
homework.
as smart as you thought you were. Maybe just put a little bit more effort in. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe wind your neck in a bit. Yeah. Mr. Cocky, you're not that smart. I'm smarter than you, and I'm a teacher.
What pressing is that?
If you want to get in touch, it's herb.legends.podcast@gmail.com, and you can see it on the show notes, if that's what they're called, at the writing bits. And give us a 5-star rating or something. You can't bother leaving a comment or a like. That will be really good if you could do it. So apologies, it's out a little bit late today, but got there in the end. And we make no promises. So
no, we can't. We literally can't.
You can take us to the small claims court, but I think they've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
absolutely. So enjoy your week. I hope you've enjoyed the Hodag, and we love you all, and we'll be back next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's an urban legend. Oh yeah. Girls are great. Oh, I'd give them my best. White and white, please, John.